Welcome back. I'm Carrie. I'm super excited about today's video. I am making chicken burgers. I've never made chicken burgers before, but I'm going to make 4 different kinds of chicken burgers and we will see what kinds we think are the best. We are starting out strong. I already got a shell inside of the egg. Now this first burger that I'm making is just the best chicken burger is what it's called. I don't know if it's actually the best, but we'll find out. So I'm going to start with an egg. I'm also going to add in a half of a diced onion. These are from my garden, you guys. I had some onions that sprouted. I'm not putting the whole thing in, just some of it. They sprouted this spring and then they started to go to seed. So before they went to seed, I pulled them out of the ground. There wasn't much, but it's more than I got last year. So this has a couple ingredients. I'm putting in some diced, not diced. What do you call this? Ground. I'm putting in ground chicken, and now this is ground chicken that I ground up myself. So you can make ground chicken really easily. All you have to do is put it in a food processor and you have ground chicken. So that's what I did. It's a mixture of thighs and breasts. And I just packaged those individually in 1 pound packages and it's super convenient. So I'm going to add a little tiny bit of thyme, not a lot. It's not my favorite spice out there. But then I'm also adding some salt and pepper. And here's my thought. I am going to put these into patties and then freeze them before I cook them. So I'm not going to cook them today. I'm going to probably cook them tomorrow. But I just think it'll be easier to cook up from frozen than like if I try to put them on the grill or on anything just flat. I feel like it would be just a huge problem. So I'm putting some liquid smoke in here. It did call for grainy mustard. I don't have grainy mustard, so I'm gonna use Dijon. I really like Dijon, so we should be good with that. And then of course we need some breadcrumbs, and I'm using panko. And about a 1/4 cup. I'd say that's close enough. And this is interesting. It called for yogurt in there, which I'm a little surprised by. Trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm going to do 2 different. So about a tablespoon it said. I'm going to do 2 different spoons because I don't want either of those to flavor each other. And then some garlic. So that's as quick and easy as it was. I did thaw these out using the cold water defrost method because I did have the meat in my freezer. So I'm going to get this all stirred up and then I will shape it into, I think, 4 patties and I'll make 1/4 pounders. And then this will be nice to just have it in my freezer ready to go for whenever we want to eat a burger. Now I think I'm going to cook up 1 of each tomorrow just to see how they all are. Now I don't want to over mix this, but I do want to get it fully incorporated. It smells good. Like it's raw chicken and it smells good. So that's impressive. Okay, I got out my big, I love this thing. I got out my big pan, my sheet pan that doesn't fit in my oven, but we're gonna use this because this is gonna be perfect. I am going to get these in here. So I need to like figure out how much for each. I'm gonna do 1/4 pounds-ish. Okay, we're now divided into 4. This is very wet. So not exactly what I was expecting there, but I'm definitely glad I decided to freeze them first because there's no way I would have been able to just cook it like that. And maybe I'll do it about that shaped. I did label this. Did I tell you that already? I labeled my sheet pan because I want to make sure I remember which ones are which. So the other flavors that I'm making today is I'm going to make a ranch, I'm going to make a buffalo chicken, and a teriyaki chicken. Make these a little thinner. 1 down, 3 to go. Next up is a buffalo chicken burger, and I'm going to add the rest of the onion in here. Hopefully I have enough onion. I'm going to add just 2 tablespoons of the buffalo sauce. And this actually calls for almond flour instead of breadcrumbs, so that's interesting. There we go. Once again, I'll do salt, pepper, and then some garlic. And last up, like a 1/4 cup, I think, of almond flour. That looks good. Questioning if that's enough buffalo sauce. I'm gonna add more. They just seem a little bit dry, and more buffalo sauce never hurt anything. I think I've got these evenly divided now. Let's put these ones down. I'm like, why does this seem like they're so much smaller? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. I'm questioning if I'm gonna have enough room on this parchment paper. Second set is done. Next up is a ranch burger. Now this actually is like a cheddar ranch, but I'm going to leave out the cheddar. And the reason I'm leaving out the cheddar is because the cheddar that was in my fridge was a little questionable. So I decided not to use that, and all my other cheddar is frozen. So we're doing it this way. This one needs some regular breadcrumbs, not panko style. So I'm gonna add those in. And then I'm cutting this recipe in half because everything that I'm doing is 1 pound. So I'm only going to use half of this ranch seasoning packet. Oops. Close enough. And then last up is garlic. Just like the other ones, we're going to mix this all together. And you know, I'm actually kind of excited about this not having the cheese in it because, I don't know, I don't think I've ever had any like cheese and ranch. I'm thinking like, have we ever had like Doritos with ranch chips? I guess both of the, now I'm thinking Doritos has both of those flavors. They're both good, but like not together. I don't know. I'm very excited about this style of meal prep. I was thinking about all of this chicken that I had and just thinking, what am I going to do with all this ground chicken? Because I was thinking of just like cooking it up like ground beef, but then I didn't want to just be using it like that. And then I'm like, oh, I can make meatballs, but then how many different meatballs do I really want? But burgers, that is a different story. We can do a lot of different burgers and be happy about it. This is like freezer meal prep almost. I mean, it is. These are gonna go in the freezer. I'll cook up some tomorrow, and then obviously we're not gonna be able to eat 20 or 16. I'm only doing 4. I'm not gonna be able to eat 16 burgers tomorrow, so we'll have a bunch in the freezer for other days. And we're just getting into summer. That'll be perfect. I'm glad I used the biggest pan that I have. How else would I have fit these? Okay. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get these to fit. Last up, we have the teriyaki burgers, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch into this water here. And we're going to make the teriyaki sauce first. Now, go figure, I am not following the recipe exactly. That is story of my life, but it'll work out just fine. That was just some water, and I added cornstarch. I'm going to add ginger and garlic. And I'm not quite sure why, but it calls for a little bit of oil. I am going to do that just because it said to. And I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of cocoa aminos. I am avoiding soy. I'm not 100% sure if soy was what was causing silent migraines, but in case it was, we're avoiding it. And when I'm daring enough, I will try it again. The recipe that I'm halfway following, called to use dark brown sugar and honey. I'm just gonna use the brown sugar only because my honey is crystallized and I just don't really want to deal with that right now. I should have cut this hole bigger. All right, we'll mix this up. And here's my thought. Have you ever tried to make teriyaki sauce in the microwave before? I have not, but I want this to thicken up a little bit, so I might try it. But before I do that, I do want to get everything inside of this bowl so I can kind of clean up around me. So I'm going to add some salt, pepper, onion powder. And then now I'm thinking it called to use powdered onion. I mean, not onion. Well, it did, but powdered garlic and ginger. I have it out, but I have the fresh stuff here. I just didn't want it to be too wet of a dough. It's not a dough. I don't want it to be too wet. We're gonna do it anyways. That was me trying to debate on if I wanted to use the powder or if I wanted to use the minced. And we're going minced. And I don't mind putting the garlic spoon into the ginger because every time I use ginger, I also use garlic. And I'm going to put only a little bit. I always go too heavy on the ginger, so we're not doing that today. A little bit of panko, and 1 egg. So I'm going to clean up a little bit, get that in the microwave, then we'll mix. You guys, are you kidding? I mixed that all together and stuck it into the microwave for just about a minute and 15 seconds, and it, okay, I am not doing that on the stove anymore. That worked out perfectly, and I don't think it's lumpy. I'm trying to see if it's, oh, that was a lump. It looks pretty smooth though when I'm looking at it. That is fantastic. So I need 3 tablespoons in here. 1, 2, 3. I am purposefully putting it on the side without the egg because I don't want this to cook that egg. I want it to get cooled off from the chicken. So I'm going to mix the chicken and teriyaki side first, and then we'll get some egg mixed in. Now the rest of this sauce I'm going to keep in the fridge for tomorrow. We will put it on top of the burger. And then I got to figure out how to fit it here. I don't want to put it over where I've already written the word teriyaki. Okay, my planning skills could have been a little better, but we're gonna make the last one on here. All right, here they all are. We have the 4 teriyakis, the 4 buffaloes, the 4 ranch, and then the 4 original. And so I'm going to just get these into the freezer and we will see them again tomorrow. As you can probably tell, it is the same day. I decided I don't want to wait till tomorrow to try these. So I am going to try just a regular old chicken. I already have the air fryer preheated. And I'm just going to stick it in there on the grill, so we'll see how it turns out. But I'm going to get these back in the freezer. These froze beautifully, but I want to keep them frozen. So in the freezer, these go. This is neat. It just came in and told me to flip it. Well, it didn't come in. It just told me to flip it. So I am going to flip it. I'm going to try to flip it. Flip. All right. There's just 2 minutes left on the timer. I've gotten a few things out. I got out some lettuce and cheese. I'm going to top the bun. I guess this isn't topping the bun. What would you call this? Putting condiments on the bun. Okay, we are within the range of this chicken could potentially be done. So I want to take the temperature of it because I have no idea what it actually is. Oh yeah, it's done. Okay, let's give it a taste test. Ooh, that was loud. I'm using a gluten-free bun that I made in a video that either is out or will be out soon. But I'm interested, I kind of want to taste a piece of just the chicken, but there isn't a piece of just the chicken. The size of the bun is perfect, the size of the chicken's perfect, the size of the cheese is perfect. Here's a piece of just chicken. That is so good. Now this was the just original chicken flavor. I'm interested to see how the other ones turn out, but this one is super good. I'm going to sit down and eat this. I'm going to try to remember to show you the rest of them if we cook them up tomorrow. For right now, they're in my freezer, so we'll just cook them up as we want them. We can just do like a couple at a time, or we can do them on the grill, but this is such a win. The outside of this turned out perfect. The outside of the chicken patty. I have here a teriyaki burger with just teriyaki sauce, that's it. And then over here is the buffalo chicken with buffalo sauce, tomatoes, lettuce, and ranch. Thank you so much for being here with me today while we made these amazing chicken burgers, something I've never done before, but I will be doing again. If you are interested in sticking around and seeing some other meals that we can put in the freezer, I will pop another one right here. And I will also have the link to the bun here. See you later. Bye-bye.